Okay, so get ready for this.
Mhm.
We're going deep on some seriously out there theories about the Anunnaki,
Oh, yeah.
from all those YouTube videos we've been watching
Right.
about those powerful beings from the planet Nibiru.
Yeah.
Supposedly, they had a hand in shaping human history.
Mm-hmm.
And the videos, they're pulling from all kinds of sources,
Yeah.
like ancient Sumerian texts,
Okay.
biblical stories,
Mm-hmm.
even some modern scientific theories.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild.
It is quite the mix.
Yeah.
One of the things that struck me
Yeah.
was how these videos suggest that the Anunnaki, these super advanced beings,
Yeah.
came to Earth for a very specific reason.
Okay, lay it on me.
Gold.
Gold, really. I
It's
mean,
true, right?
super advanced aliens traveling across the cosmos just for gold.
It does seem a bit strange.
It's not like they're buying spaceships at some intergalactic dealership.
Uh-huh, exactly.
So, what's the deal with the gold?
Well, the videos claim that Nibiru's atmosphere was damaged,
Oh.
and they needed gold to repair it. Interesting.
And Earth, being rich in gold, became their target.
So wait,
Yeah.
you're telling me these beings who can travel between stars can't fix their own planet's atmosphere?
That's a bit of a head
You
scratcher.
have to wonder about their technology,
Yeah.
or maybe their real motives.
It does raise some intriguing questions for sure.
Yeah, it does.
Speaking of planets,
Yeah.
you mentioned Nibiru earlier.
Mhm.
Doesn't that tie into, NASA's search for Planet 9?
I was just thinking about that.
Really?
Yeah, isn't there a connection?
Well, a lot of people speculate about it,
Yeah.
but there's no real evidence to back it up.
Hmm.
See, NASA's looking for this hypothetical Planet 9 way out in the solar system
Right.
because of some weird gravitational anomalies they've observed.
Interesting.
Some folks try to connect that to Nibiru,
Oh, I see.
but honestly, it's a bit of a stretch.
So for now,
Yeah.
Nibiru remains this mysterious planet.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's lost somewhere in the vastness of space.
A cosmic enigma. Right.
For sure.
But let's say, just for the sake of this deep dive,
Okay.
that Nibiru does exist,
All right.
and so do the Anunnaki.
Sure.
Then where do we fit into all of this?
That's where things get really mind-blowing.
Okay. I'm all ears.
Because these videos suggest that humans, well, we weren't just some random evolutionary fluke.
What do you mean?
They're saying we were actually engineered by the Anunnaki.
Engineered. Seriously.
That's the claim.
So humans were like some kind of science experiment for these aliens.
That's the basic idea.
Wow.
The videos describe this race called the Igigi,
Okay.
who were the Anunnaki's original workforce.
Oh, so their first attempt.
Kinda, yeah. They were the ones mining the gold. But they eventually rebelled against their, let's say, harsh working conditions.
Sounds like they got tired of being the universe's gold miners.
Who can blame them?
Yeah, seriously.
So the Anunnaki needed a new workforce,
Oh, yeah.
one that was a bit more manageable.
Makes sense, I guess.
And that's where humans come in.
So they created us.
Yeah.
How?
They combined their own essence with the clay of the earth.
Hold on. Divine essence and clay?
Yeah.
That sounds familiar, like Adam and Eve being formed from dust.
Right.
Like those creation myths from all those different cultures.
It is a pretty intriguing parallel.
It really makes you think.
It does.
And then there's that book, Humans Are Not From Earth.
Oh, yeah, by Dr. Ellis Silver.
Exactly.
I've heard of that one.
He argues that all those things that make us vulnerable,
Yeah.
like our sensitivity to sunlight
Uh-huh.
or how easily we get sick,
Right.
those could be evidence that we actually evolved on a different planet.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
It definitely adds another layer to the debate
Right?
about our origins.
It kind of supports the idea that we were designed for a different environment.
Yeah, maybe even by the Anunnaki.
Okay, so the videos are saying that the Anunnaki created us because their first workforce, the Igigi, revolted.
Right.
But then what?
Well,
Did we just start happily digging up gold for them?
not exactly.
Okay, what happened then?
Remember, these videos are weaving a complex narrative.
Right.
The creation of the first human, Adamu, and his female counterpart, Heya.
Okay.
That was just the beginning.
So what came next?
They were designed to be intelligent, yes,
Yeah.
but also obedient.
Ah, so they could control them.
Precisely.
Clever.
But then things took an unexpected turn.
Ah.
An extraordinary individual emerged,
Who?
Adapa.
Adapa.
Yes, Adapa.
I've never heard of them.
He was a human Anunnaki hybrid.
A hybrid?
Yes.
Oh.
And he possessed exceptional intelligence.
Interesting.
And his descendants,
Yeah.
they inherited this enhanced intellect,
Oh, I see.
which ultimately propelled human development forward.
So that's where our smarts come from.
Well, that's what the videos are suggesting.
Okay, but it sounds like there's a catch.
There is.
How is it?
According to these videos, this boost in intelligence, it also led to an increase in conflict and violence among humans.
So, like, the Anunnaki's creation backfired.
That's the implication.
Wow.
They wanted a more obedient workforce,
Yeah.
but they ended up with a species capable of great intelligence
Yes.
and, unfortunately, great destruction.
Makes you think.
It does.
So, where do we go from here?
Well, according to these videos, the shift towards conflict and violence, it set the stage for some truly cataclysmic events,
Like what?
including, you guessed it,
The Great Flood.
the Great Flood.
No way.
Hey.
Are they seriously linking the Great Flood?
Yes.
You know, a story found in so many cultures to the Anunnaki.
They are.
This is getting wilder by the minute.
Buckle up, it's about to get even wilder.
Okay, I'm ready. Hit me with it.
So the videos depict Nibiru's close approach to Earth
Yeah.
as this massive event
Okay.
that triggered earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, tsunamis, you name it.
Whoa.
The scale of the destruction was supposed to be unimaginable, leading to what we know as the Great Flood.
So they're saying the flood wasn't some random natural disaster,
Nope.
but a direct result of Nibiru's gravitational pull on Earth.
Exactly.
That's a pretty bold claim.
It is.
But it gets even more interesting
Oh, yeah.
when you think about how the videos connect this whole event to flood myths from around the world.
Right, like a global phenomenon.
It's crazy.
It is, but it's also incredibly intriguing.
So walk me through this.
Okay, so they even draw parallels to Noah's Ark with the story of Utnapishtim.
Utnapishtim. Who's that?
He's basically the Sumerian Noah.
The Sumerian Noah.
Yeah.
So like their version of the story.
Exactly.
Okay, what did he do?
Well, according to these videos, he built a giant ark-like vessel
Uh-huh.
on the instructions of Enki, one of the Anunnaki.
Okay.
But Enki was different.
How so?
He was sympathetic to humans.
Oh, so he wanted to protect them.
Exactly, from the impending flood.
So even in the middle of all this cosmic chaos, at least one Anunnaki was looking out for us.
It seems so.
What a story.
It is, isn't it?
But what happened after the floodwaters receded?
Well, the videos claim that the Anunnaki,
Yeah.
they didn't just leave us to fend for ourselves.
Ooh.
They actually played a major role in shaping post-flood civilization.
Really?
They taught humans advanced knowledge and skills,
Look what?
you know, potentially even helping us construct those incredible ancient structures.
You mean like the pyramids?
Yes, exactly. The pyramids, obelisks, all those things we marvel at today.
So they're saying those ancient wonders might have been built with extraterrestrial help.
That's the theory they're putting forth.
Wow, that's mind-blowing.
It is.
And they even mention Queen Puabi.
Queen Puabi.
Yeah, a Sumerian queen with an unusually elongated skull,
Oh, right. I've heard about her.
as possible evidence of human-Anunnaki hybridization.
Yeah, elongated skulls, ancient technology.
It's all very intriguing,
It is.
but it also raises a lot of questions.
It definitely does.
Before we get too deep into the evidence, or lack of it,
Okay.
talk about the Anunnaki themselves.
All right.
Because these videos mention some serious conflicts and power struggles going on between them.
And absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, there's this rivalry between Enki, the one who protected humans from the flood,
Right.
and his brother, Enlil,
Enlil.
who, let's just say, wasn't as fond of humankind.
So we've got sibling rivalry on a cosmic scale.
Pretty much.
What was their beef?
They had different views on humanity's role
I see.
and how much knowledge we should be allowed to possess.
Interesting.
And then there's Marduk,
Marduk.
Enki's ambitious son.
Now, I have heard of Marduk.
Oh, have you?
Didn't he do something to really upset the Anunnaki establishment?
He did.
Was it?
He defied the Anunnaki hierarchy by sharing advanced warfare technology with humans.
Whoa, that's a big no-no.
It was.
Why did he do that?
Well, he had his own agenda.
Sounds like trouble.
It was.
What happened?
Well, Marduk's actions ultimately led to a devastating war.
A war.
Yes.
Between who?
Between the Anunnaki factions.
Oh, wow.
Advanced weapons were unleashed,
Yikes.
causing widespread destruction.
And what about humans?
We got caught in the crossfire.
So this war led to societal collapse.
That's what the videos suggest.
They even link it to the Bronze Age collapse.
They do?
Wow, this is heavy stuff.
It is.
So after this cataclysmic war, what happened to the Anunnaki?
Well, according to the videos, they eventually decided to leave Earth,
They just left.
leaving humanity to govern itself.
Wow.
But they hint at the possibility of their return
Their return.
in the future.
That's a bit ominous.
It is.
What would they come back for?
Maybe to judge us.
Judge us.
Or perhaps to offer some of us
Yeah.
the chance for immortality on Nibiru.
Whoa, that's a lot to process.
It is.
But before we get to the end of the story,
Okay.
let's talk about where this whole Anunnaki narrative came from.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
the source.
Mm-hmm.
Because these videos, they frequently mention this guy named Zecharia Sitchin.
Oh, Zecharia Sitchin,
Right.
the author who popularized the Anunnaki story
Exactly.
through his interpretations of ancient Sumerian texts.
Right. Sitchin's books sparked a whole wave of fascination with the Anunnaki. They did. But his work has also been met with, quite a bit of skepticism
Oh, yeah.
from mainstream scholars, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, they've questioned his translation methods and the lack of mainstream scientific support for his claims.
It's definitely a point of contention.
But his work continues to fuel the debate,
It does.
which is why we're here exploring this whole fascinating, albeit controversial topic.
Exactly.
So we have this captivating narrative
Yeah.
based on interpretations that are disputed by many.
Right.
This all sounds incredibly intriguing, but where's the proof?
Ah, the million-dollar question.
Are there any tangible pieces of evidence
Hmm.
that actually support this wild Anunnaki story?
Or is it all just speculation?
I mean, come on.
Wow.
Alien creators, gold mining, engineered humans, a cosmic flood, and a war that reshaped civilization.
Uh-huh. I know.
It's a lot to take in.
It is.
So is there any evidence?
Well, the videos do present some intriguing findings
Like what?
that they claim support the Anunnaki narrative,
Okay, give me an example.
like those elongated skulls.
Oh, the ones we talked about earlier.
Yes.
Discovered around the world,
Mm-hmm.
especially the Paracas skulls.
Right.
The ones with a genetic connection to Mesopotamia.
Exactly.
I mean, skulls found in South America with links to it. An ancient civilization thousands of miles away?
I know.
Tells my mind.
It's pretty wild, right?
It is.
Proponents of the Anunnaki theory,
Yeah.
they see this as a clear sign
Okay.
that these beings traveled to different parts of the globe,
Mhm.
potentially even interbreeding with humans.
But wait,
Yeah.
couldn't those elongated skulls
Yeah.
just be a result of artificial cranial deformation?
You mean like that practice found in many cultures?
Exactly.
It's a valid point.
Right.
Artificial cranial deformation was practiced in various cultures,
Uh-huh.
and it can change the shape of a skull.
So maybe that's all it is.
Maybe.
But those who believe in the Anunnaki theory,
Yeah.
they argue that the Paracas skulls are unique.
They do?
What makes them so different?
Well, they point to their size and volume,
Okay,
claiming they're beyond what artificial deformation could achieve.
so the debate boils down to
Yeah.
whether those skulls are within the realm of known cranial deformation practices.
It's a tough one.
It's like we need a cosmic ruler to measure them against.
Uh-huh. Right.
But even if they are unusual,
Yeah.
the genetic analysis,
Mm-hmm.
it only points to a connection with Mesopotamia,
That's true.
not definitively to the Anunnaki.
You're right.
It's an intriguing connection,
It is.
but not a smoking gun.
Not quite.
Okay, so what else is there?
Well, let's move on to Homo naledi.
Hominolity.
This species throws a real wrench into our understanding of human evolution.
How so?
They had small brains,
Okay.
but they were capable of complex behaviors.
Like what?
Things like ritualistic burials.
Mm.
It challenges the whole idea that brain size alone dictates intelligence.
That is interesting.
It is.
And some people interpret this as evidence
yeah.
that humans were engineered, potentially by the Anunnaki,
Mhm.
with intelligence being something more than just brain volume.
It's a thought-provoking interpretation,
It is.
but we have to be cautious.
Why?
Homo naledi is still being studied.
Oh, right.
There's a lot we don't know about their evolution and cognitive abilities.
So hominolety adds to the mystery,
It does.
but it doesn't definitively prove the Anunnaki theory.
No, not on its own.
It's like finding a missing puzzle piece,
Yeah,
but not knowing which puzzle it belongs to.
exactly.
What about that gene mutation we talked about earlier?
You mean the TKTK01 gene?
Yeah, the one that caused accelerated neuron growth in Homo sapiens.
Right.
That feels like a potential game changer.
It does, doesn't it?
It almost sounds like some kind of upgrade was installed.
I know, right?
Do the videos suggest that the Anunnaki might have tweaked our genes?
They do present it as a possibility,
Wow.
but we have to acknowledge that mutations happen naturally all the time.
Oh, right, of course.
It's a core part of evolution,
Yeah.
proving that a specific mutation was caused by some outside force.
Like aliens?
Exactly, especially extraterrestrial ones,
Yeah.
is a monumental task.
So the TKTKL1 gene mutation is fascinating and might explain the rapid development of human intelligence.
Yeah.
But we can't just jump to the conclusion that it was the Anunnaki who flipped the switch,
Right.
so to speak.
It's another intriguing clue,
Yeah.
but not a conclusive answer.
I'm noticing a pattern here.
Oh, yeah. What's that?
We have these fascinating clues that could potentially support the Anunnaki story,
Uh-huh.
but there are also alternative explanations
Right.
that fit within what we already know about science.
You've hit the nail on the head.
It's like we're in a cosmic courtroom,
Okay, I like that.
and the Anunnaki are on trial.
Aha, I love it.
We have circumstantial evidence,
Yeah.
but no hard proof.
That's a great analogy.
Thanks.
And it brings us to a fundamental principle of science.
Yes.
Multiple working hypotheses.
Okay, explain that.
When scientists encounter something they don't understand,
Right.
they consider various explanations.
Right.
They test them rigorously.
Yeah.
And ultimately go with the hypothesis that best fits the evidence.
So with the Anunnaki, we have those who believe in their influence, pointing to certain clues,
Right.
and we have skeptics who offer alternative explanations that align with conventional science.
Exactly.
It's a real clash of perspectives.
It is.
And until we have irrefutable evidence,
Uh-huh.
that can't be explained any other way.
Yeah.
The Anunnaki hypothesis will likely remain on the fringes of mainstream science. It's like a good detective novel.
How so?
We have clues, suspects, motives,
Uh-huh.
but no definitive proof that solves the case.
I love that analogy.
It's a mystery that's still unfolding.
For sure.
And I think it's important to approach this topic with a healthy dose of skepticism,
Absolutely.
but also an open mind.
I completely agree.
So are we stuck between these captivating stories
Yeah.
and the need for hard evidence?
Good question.
Does it have to be one or the other?
Not necessarily.
What do you mean?
I think the Anunnaki story, even if it can't be definitively proven,
Yeah.
it serves a valuable purpose.
Okay, I'm listening.
It challenges us to think outside the box,
In what way?
to question what we think we know about our origins, and consider the possibility that our history is more complex than we previously imagined.
I see what you're saying.
It's like a thought experiment on a grand scale.
A cosmic what-if scenario.
Exactly.
It forces us to expand our imagination and consider the vastness of the universe and the possibilities that might exist beyond our current understanding.
It's a mind-expanding exercise.
And who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe future discoveries will shed new light on the Anunnaki narrative.
It's possible.
Perhaps we'll uncover that missing piece of evidence that changes everything.
Wouldn't that be amazing?
It would.
Yeah.
Or maybe we'll develop new technologies
Okay.
that allow us to re-examine the existing evidence in a whole new way.
That's a fascinating thought.
It is.
Yeah.
It really is.
But for now, we're left with this blend of mythology, speculation,
Yeah.
and scientific inquiry.
It's quite the mix.
It's like a delicious intellectual stew, simmering with possibilities.
I love that.
It's a story that's still unfolding,
It is.
and we're all invited to participate in this ongoing quest for knowledge.
We are.
Okay, so as we wrap up this part of our deep dive,
Yeah.
what are some key things our listeners should be thinking about?
Well, first and foremost, I can't emphasize enough the importance of critical thinking.
Critical thinking. Yeah, we're inundated with information these days.
That's great.
And not all of it is accurate or reliable.
Definitely.
The Anunnaki story serves as a reminder
Of what?
to be discerning consumers of information,
Okay.
to question sources, examine evidence, and consider different perspectives.
So don't just take things at face value.
Yeah, exactly.
Do your own research.
Absolutely.
But we also shouldn't dismiss the cultural significance of the Anunnaki story.
That's a great point.
I mean, it's been around for centuries,
It has.
capturing the imaginations of people across different cultures and time periods,
It speaks to our enduring fascination with the unknown.
and our desire to understand our place in the cosmos.
Beautifully said.
And even if the Anunnaki narrative turns out to be a myth,
Yeah.
it still highlights the importance of curiosity, exploration,
Yes.
and the pursuit of knowledge.
Couldn't agree more.
Okay, so where were we?
We were talking about the evidence.
Right, the evidence, or its lack thereof.
Yeah, for this whole Anunnaki story.
It's like this crazy puzzle, you know?
It really is.
We have ancient myths, compelling theories, and these intriguing archaeological finds.
Right.
But mainstream science isn't exactly rushing to embrace the idea of ancient aliens.
Yeah, they're not exactly throwing a parade.
You know, shaping our history.
It's a real clash of perspectives.
It is.
But to be fair to the scientific community,
okay.
the burden of proof,
Yeah.
it rests on those making extraordinary claims.
So those claiming the Anunnaki are real,
I guess.
they need solid evidence.
Yeah.
Peer-reviewed research, the whole 9 yards.
It's the gold standard
Makes sense.
before they're going to accept such a radical idea.
All right, so let's dig into some of the evidence presented in the videos.
Okay.
We were talking about those elongated skulls.
Right. Specifically the Paracas skulls.
With the genetic connection to Mesopotamia.
Yes. That connection is truly mind-boggling.
Skulls found in South America with links to an ancient civilization thousands of miles away.
It's a pretty wild connection.
It is.
Proponents of the Anunnaki theory,
Uh-huh.
they see this as a clear sign
Okay.
that these beings traveled to different parts of the globe,
Yeah.
potentially even interbreeding with humans.
But couldn't those elongated skulls just be a result of...
Artificial cranial deformation.
Exactly.
You mean like that practice found in many cultures?
Yeah.
It's a valid point.
So maybe that explains the elongated shape.
It's possible.
But those who believe in the Anunnaki theory,
Yeah,
they argue that the Paracas skulls are unique.
they do.
What makes them so special?
Well, they point to their size and volume,
Okay.
claiming they're beyond what artificial deformation could achieve.
So the debate boils down to whether those skulls are within the realm of known cranial deformation practices.
Yeah, it's a tough one to settle.
It's like we need a cosmic ruler
Uh-huh. I like that.
to measure them against.
We do.
But even if those skulls are unusual, the genetic analysis only points to a connection with Mesopotamia,
That's right.
not definitively to the Anunnaki.
True. It's not a smoking gun.
Okay, so what other evidence do we have?
Well, there's Homo naledi.
Homo naledi.
This species throws a real wrench into our understanding of human evolution.
How so?
They had small brains,
You okay?
yet they were capable of complex behaviors.
Like what?
Things like ritualistic burials.
Interesting.
It challenges the whole idea that brain size alone dictates intelligence.
And some people interpret this as evidence
Yeah.
that humans were engineered, potentially by the Anunnaki.
With intelligence being something more than just brain volume.
It's a pretty thought-provoking idea,
It is.
but Homo naledi is still being studied.
That's right. There's still a lot we don't know.
So it adds to the mystery,
It does.
but it doesn't definitively prove the Anunnaki theory.
No, not on its own.
It's like finding a missing puzzle piece,
Uh-huh.
but not knowing which puzzle it belongs to.
Exactly.
Okay, what about that gene mutation we talked about?
The TKTKL1 gene.
Yes, the one that caused accelerated neuron growth in Homo sapiens.
It's right. That one's a real head-scratcher.
It almost sounds like...
Like some kind of upgrade was installed.
Yeah.
It does, doesn't it?
Did the videos suggest that maybe the Anunnaki tweaked our genes?
They do present it as a possibility,
Hmm.
but we have to remember that mutations happen naturally all the time.
Of course, that's evolution.
Right, exactly.
But proving that a specific mutation was caused by an outside force
Especially an extraterrestrial one,
is a monumental task.
to say the least.
So while the TKTKL1 gene mutation is fascinating
It is.
and might explain the rapid development of human intelligence,
Mm-hmm.
we can't just jump to the conclusion,
That it was the Anunnaki who flipped the switch.
so to speak.
Right.
It's another intriguing clue,
Yeah, it is.
but not a conclusive answer.
Not yet, anyway.
I'm noticing a pattern here.
Oh, what's that?
We have these fascinating clues
Uh-huh.
that could potentially support the Anunnaki story,
Right.
but there are always alternative explanations.
That fit within what we already know about science.
It's like we're in a cosmic courtroom,
Okay, I like where this is going.
and the Anunnaki are on trial.
Uh-huh. I love it.
We have circumstantial evidence,
Okay.
but no hard proof.
That's a great analogy.
And it brings us back to that fundamental principle of science,
Multiple working hypotheses.
right, where scientists consider various explanations
And test them rigorously.
until they find the one that best fits the evidence.
Exactly.
So with the Anunnaki,
Yeah.
we have those who believe in their influence,
Pointing to these intriguing clues
and we have skeptics who offer alternative explanations.
that align with conventional science.
There's a real clash of perspectives.
It is.
And until we have irrefutable evidence,
That can't be explained any other way.
the Anunnaki hypothesis will likely remain on the fringes.
Of mainstream science.
It's like a good detective novel.
In what way?
We have clues, suspects, motives,
Uh-huh.
but no definitive proof.
That solves the case. It's
Exactly.
a mystery that's still unfolding.
And I think it's important to approach this whole topic with a healthy dose of skepticism,
Absolutely.
but also an open mind.
I agree. It's all about finding that balance.
So are we stuck between these captivating stories
Yeah.
and the need for hard evidence?
It's a good question.
Does it have to be one or the other?
Not necessarily.
What do you mean?
I think the Annunaki story, even if it can't be definitively proven,
Yeah.
it serves a valuable purpose.
Okay, I'm listening.
It challenges us to think outside the box.
To question what we think we know
Exactly.
about our origins
And to consider the possibility that our history is more complex.
than we previously imagined.
It's like a thought experiment on a grand scale.
It forces us to expand our
And to
imagination
consider the vastness of the universe
and all the possibilities that might exist.
beyond our current understanding.
Who knows?
Yeah,
Maybe future discoveries will shed new light on the Anunnaki narrative.
it's definitely possible.
Maybe we'll uncover that missing piece of evidence.
That changes everything.
Or maybe we'll develop new technologies
That allow us to re-examine the existing evidence.
in a whole new way.
It's an exciting thought.
It is.
But for now,
Yeah.
we're left with this blend of mythology
Perfectly.
and scientific inquiry.
It's like a delicious intellectual stew
Haha, I love that analogy.
simmering with possibilities.
It's a story that's still unfolding
And we're all invited to participate.
in this ongoing quest for knowledge.
You know, as we've been going through all this Anunnaki stuff,
Yeah.
I keep coming back to one question. What does this all mean for us?
That's the big one, isn't it?
What does it mean for humanity if this story,
Yeah.
if it's actually true?
It's a question that really gets to the heart of things.
Yeah.
Like, our understanding of human purpose.
Right.
If we were created by an advanced alien race,
It throws everything we think we know into question.
our origins, our place in the universe.
It's almost like that scene in The Matrix
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
where Morpheus offers Neo the red pill and the blue pill.
Right.
You know, do you want the truth?
Even if it's unsettling,
Or stay blissfully ignorant?
it's a powerful analogy.
It is.
And the Anunnaki narrative, it's like that.
Yeah.
It presents us with a choice.
Do we embrace the possibility that our history is more complex?
Than we ever imagined.
Or do we cling to those familiar, comforting narratives?
Even if they might not be the whole story.
And it's not just about the past, right?
No, not at all.
I mean, the videos suggest the Anunnaki might return
They do.
someday
Maybe to judge us?
or offer immortality.
Nibiru.
It's a lot to think about.
It is.
Even if we can't prove or disprove the Anunnaki story.
Yeah.
I think there's some valuable lessons here.
Oh, absolutely.
This deep dive has been wild,
It has.
but it's really highlighted the importance of critical thinking.
Especially these days.
With so much information flying around,
we have to be careful about what we accept as truth.
it's like separating fact from fiction.
In a cosmic library.
We shouldn't just blindly believe everything we hear or read.
Right.
We need to question sources, evaluate evidence, consider different perspectives.
Like you said before.
Yeah.
Don't just take things at face value.
Do your own research.
Oh, yeah.
But
Yeah.
being skeptical doesn't mean shutting down our curiosity
No, not at all.
or being closed off to new ideas.
It's about finding that balance.
Between open-mindedness and critical thinking.
Right.
We should stay curious, explore different perspectives, but always demand evidence.
And be willing to challenge our own assumptions.
Even if the Anunnaki story turns out to be a myth,
Yeah.
there's still value in examining it, considering the possibilities.
It's like a mental workout.
It sparks our imagination.
It encourages us to ponder the big questions
It reminds us that there's so much we don't know.
about our own history, the universe.
It's a reminder that the quest for knowledge is a journey.
Full of twists and turns, dead ends, and amazing discoveries.
I think that's a great note to end on.
I agree.
So to our listeners, keep exploring, keep questioning.
And never stop learning.
Who knows, maybe you'll be the one to finally solve the mystery of the Anunnaki.
That would be incredible.
Until next time.
Stay curious.